Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. I hope everyone is doing okay. So I've been really busy, and people used to ask me, how do you do it? Oh, I just exhaust myself. As you noticed, I didn't look like a raving beauty this morning. I actually feel better now than when I first got up very early this morning. Okay, so I moved, and when I moved my massive food storage over here, and it was really a nightmare. And I learned some stuff about stockpiling, and so that's what this video is about. So one of the things I was doing is I was finishing this little crocheted blanket. It took me the longest time to do it. It's still wet. I just washed it, so I barely got it done. The baby is going to be here momentarily. So it's a very small blanket, just big enough to wrap the baby. See? And then, you know, here's the baby. All the grandmothers. Yes. So this is not going with the baby's room very well because the baby's room is purple and pink. So my idea when this pandemic started was to find peach. All I could find is the weird orange, and I couldn't find any, you know, cute mint or anything because there was no yarn. So that's the best I could do under trying circumstances. But I will make another one just a little bit bigger soon. So now what I learned during the food storage, and 10 things to stockpile that's going to help you. Okay, the first thing is milk and honey, because in the Bible there was always an exodus towards the promised land with milk and honey. So if you have children, you're going to need milk, but if you're older, you need milk too. And then honey can be used like sugar, like on peanut butter and honey sandwiches too, or in mint tea with mint tea, honey, cinnamon, and lemon. So, you know, there's all kinds of things. So what I like to do is I get the individual, the vacuum packed packages. You buy 10 of them at Walmart. I want my stuff in pretty small containers so it doesn't get contaminated. And if somebody needs some, you can just give them one. So part of the donation was shaping up my own food storage so that everything was fresh and ready to eat, and to help people before the holiday. And I wanted to shift my food storage to mostly cans because they're indestructible. So the first thing is milk and honey. The second one is dried fruit. So like, you know, on the provisions of food, if you store dried fruit, that's going to help you out because you can put some raisins or some, I have a couple examples here. I have some prunes. I'm not a big fan of prunes, but I am a big fan of these kind of bags because nothing's going to happen with your dried fruit. You could boil them and, you know, eat them warm, or you could chop them up and put them in some bread or something, or you can just eat them. And then I have some dates also in this kind of package. What I like for dates is dates, and I put walnuts and roll them in powdered sugar. That's very festive. But dates are just good for baking and stuff. The best one you want to stockpile is raisins. I donated a lot of fruit because I don't eat much fruit. I was listening to this audio book. It was the one on Barnum from Barnum and Bailey Circus. And he mentioned that when a person drinks alcohol, they lose their taste for fruit. Well, I drink a massive amount of caffeine, and that might have something to do with it. But generally, people run out of fruit, vegetables, and bread. So I want dry fruit a lot, and I will be buying it only in these vacuum pack packages, and raisins for sure. But one you might forget is coconut. You know, I usually like coconut cream pie, or a lot of times if I have mandarin oranges, it would be mandarin oranges and coconut and maybe some raisins or pineapple. You know, I make like a fruit salad. So just any kind of dry fruit would be number 2. Number 3 is crackers and chips. So you might be going, well that's not a serious stockpile. My only concern is that if I got to eat those cans in there, I'm going to have some crackers to go with my soup, and I'm going to have some chips to go with my beans. Also chips and salsa, and you can grind your Rotel tomatoes for salsa. So I have some hummus in there, and those are going to taste good with my crackers. Or crackers and peanut butter. So crackers and chips. And this has a nice plastic bag like this inside. Okay, and then the next one is pie crust. And I started stockpiling this at the beginning of the pandemic because one of the ladies that I subscribed to, only in my dreams, she mentioned pie crust, and I thought, yeah, that's a good idea because I have cans of fruit so I can make a pie, and I don't have to use up my shortening if something happens. And another thing is you can make little turnovers with like meat, like hamburger, onion, and cabbage, or little hamburger pies. So, you know, the pie crust is really nice to have. What I don't like about it, though, I'm going to be looking for a substitute. This doesn't have those vacuum packages that I like. It's just a little package and it's turned over, so reject in the future until I find something better. Okay, now the next one is something, pizza crust mix. Okay, see how it comes in the package I like? But what I do with these is, these are a good thing to use, you know, to make pizza. But also you can make little flatbreads and fry them in a little oil if you were to run out. Or these are good for stuffing with meat or cheese and pepperoni. And so one of these makes quite a bit. What I do with these a lot of times is I'll make a half a package, and you just add warm water and oil. And a half package makes 4 nice flatbreads. You know, if you don't have time to bake bread. The next one is cornbread. I'm trying to find cornbread in those packages, those seal packages. This is another one that has those little no, I don't like this, but I have a few of these left. What I use this for mainly is to eat with beans. So also, though, sometimes I just I mix them up, and I'll make a pile and drop a hot dog, like a corn dog. So, you know, I'm going to be eating beans out of the can. And you go, well, that might be impractical. Well, for the way I'm doing it now is I'm stockpiling just for like 2 years. And 1 can is going to make a pretty nice meal of beans, and nothing's going to go wrong with it. And it's not involving like me transferring the stuff to like buckets or any of that kind of stuff. So the next one is cornbread. Then the last one that I want to mention in this video is bacon, and I bought these 50% off. Okay, during at the beginning of the pandemic in March, one of the things they had shortages on was yeast. So and I bought these 50% off. This not so good because it's in a box, but this expires March 11, 2022. It was just a damaged package. And if this goes bad, you can use it, you know, for cleaning and stuff, brushing your teeth. But the main thing you want this for is to make bread, God forbid, if you can't find yeast. Also, there's a good Ken Rawlings video on making yeast. But in his yeast baking, you need a package of yeast to make the yeast. So baking soda and baking powder, you know. And another thing is I think people might be thinking, well, last time we ran out of stuff and then they got some more, but what if they don't? That's a bad thought. So what I'm doing is I'm just replenishing my stockpile as I go. So for the non-essential items, things you want to get now extra: toilet paper, masks, gloves, bleach, and alcohol. And so what I learned on the last pandemic, if you're very, very careful, you can go into the stores and get what you need, but don't let them keep you waiting in clusters. You know, if they're not able to check you out, get out of there. And out here now, we have a lot of coughing and sneezing, and people are not being careful. But the best thing you can possibly do is stockpile. And I was watching, you know, I watch or listen to anything. You know, I take what I like and leave the rest. And it was a rabbi, and he was talking about one of the ways that the children of Israel were kept safe is they stayed in their houses. And I thought, yeah, that's true. But another thing is they were able to evacuate and leave when they were commanded to. So we need to be ready to be, and I learned from my last move, you know, trying to move my food and my eBay stuff, it was really, really bad. And I'm always telling my son, one thing about bad experiences, you will be forever changed. You learn and you don't forget when you suffer like I did. But anyway, I want to encourage you guys to go through your food and provisions, and if you have stuff that you cannot eat in time, donate it now. People could really use it. I think, you know, out here, it's like everything is fine, and I'm thinking to myself, everything is not fine. I don't know what's going on, but it's probably not good, you know, all this massive unemployment and stuff. So what we want to do is we want to prepare for the worst, and you can never prepare for the worst, but, you know, prepare as best we can by stockpiling up just a little bit. I mean, if in one day you got this, sometime between now and 2022, you're going to be able to make quite a bit of bread if you have flour. Also, I'm buying the flour in the packages. No more of these paper packages. No, I'm never going to buy stuff like that again because it's too easy to waste it. And if you, another thing is this being a good steward with what you have. I have always tried to do that. I don't care if it was hair color or beauty supplies or my cars or whatever. I always try to take care of my stuff because at the heart of things, I was really grateful for the stuff I had. And I showed you guys my eBay stuff. And believe it or not, I was able to work a little bit this week. It's not super easy to find stuff now, but it can be done. So I want to encourage you guys to maybe consider trying to earn a little extra money that way on resale. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.